You watch how other people in the games industry, especially, your senior artists and things like that, do work, and you realize the crap they just throw out there, and nobody cares. You realize that's how it should be done. You know, if you if you look at some quality artists, like if you play Gears of War or anything like that, and you really take the models out and you look at them in detail, you'll see all types of problems. It's just that when you were playing the game, you didn't care. I mean, I can't even play Halo anymore. I mean, I didn't really play it in the first place, but it's just the environments themselves bother the hell out of me. They're very bland, and honestly, before I started doing art, I never even noticed. So let's look at this. Hmm. Looking like a really low poly face. Now, which part was supposed to be the eye? Oh, that part. So this is supposed to be the eye. So what I was saying earlier is, if we wanted to, we could add another cut right there. I know it seems blasphemy, but and what we do is we just pull this back. And then let me create another polygon real quick. No, not split. And where is center? Center pivot. There we go. And we will just put our eye right there. And you would be surprised how many console games do this. A lot of Wii games. Anytime when you really just don't have the power to really do a lot of rigging or bones, you'll see a lot of this, because generally you can always somehow figure out a way to sneak in, an extra texture or so. And when it's all colored, you really didn't notice. And if you're not shading anything, you definitely don't notice. If you're curious what it looks like not shaded, this is what it looks like. Everything else would be texture. So yeah, you're definitely not going to notice that little eye socket right there. And that's something we might end up doing. It depends, how I feel about it and how it looks. Like I said, my eyes are generally very small and unimportant. I mean, we will have to detail them, but we might be able to get away with just having, a simple, flat plane there. And if we can't get away with it, we'll do this other method. This additional poly right there is useful because you can actually dedicate a completely separate texture to it, and you don't have to worry about UV space. And that can be the one that's following it. And usually it's the same texture space that's going to have like a mouth or something on it, or there's going to be another poly here for it. And when you would do the same thing with the mouth, you would actually do it in an interesting way. You could do it one of two ways. You can actually cut out an area you would want for the mouth, or you can create polys over it. That then stick with the model, and you're consistently animating it. And if you do it correctly, and this is just quickly, shoddily put together, you wouldn't even notice it was there. And there'd still be tries and polygons under it. And anytime you wanted, the mouth under it, you would just make it transparent, or you would hide it, or you would get rid of it entirely. So there's tons of ways we can use this technique to animate without actually needing extra bones or extra tries. And sometimes in extra texture streaming in that's 32 by 32 is a lot less of a hassle than adding maybe 1, 2, 3, 6 bones on each side, so 12 total, and then the polygons to support it. But if you're doing a PC game, like an independent game, then you can totally go for the extra polygons, and I'd actually suggest you do something more like the 2000 try model I showed you earlier. So now that we have our face, or pretty much what our base face is going to be, let's see. We would have to make the chin area and the head. Now, since we have this, the easiest way to do it is honestly just to select these and extrude them out. Ah, that looked bad. So extruding things works based on the normals. We'll just do that. Remember, I'm going to have hair, so some of this might even get deleted in the end. And I'll still work around these. I'll go back further. We'll see what it looks like. If I need more tries, we'll add more tries. We're risk takers, because we're on the internet. So we'll see if this works, and we'll just go for it. Ears are always interesting, because you can always sculpt them inside, or you can, like I said, make planes to do it for you. We'll go right there. I like that line. We'll use that line as a guide. And we'll do something that's kind of like edge modeling. Edge modeling is when you just start making polygons and you just extrude from the edges. I use it a lot, and I used to use it a lot more, but I actually just got quicker with box modeling simple shapes. And it's weird because I used to bash box modeling. I was like, it's slow, and it adds tedious polygons you don't really need. And the truth is it does do that. It adds a bunch of polygons you wouldn't necessarily need, and you're going to end up deleting them anyways. But what I noticed was when I do edge modeling, I always get the polygons I need, but it's slower anyways, and there's really not a fast way to do it. So I've been combining methods to do it, such as what I'm doing right now, where I box model a quick, simple silhouette, and I model around it. As you can see, it works pretty well. I'm using a live model. It's almost like using Topo Gun, and it gives me an idea of what the model will look like before and after. If that makes any sense. It probably doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm kind of rambling when I get excited about retopologizing. Now, oh, by the way, a good place to hide a triangle is like in the back upper area of this head. We might make it a quad and add another triangle here, but this is a perfect place for it. And it just, I don't know, it just always sits well. By the way, when we go over unwrapping, I'll show you how to unwrap a bald head versus a haired head, because they're a little bit different. Because, you know, to avoid seams, if you have a bald character, you're going to have trouble. But I can show you the easiest way to do it. Like I said, making a lot of flat colors for low poly models is a great way to do it. You gotta watch out that if you're going to go for low poly, don't have too many edges close to each other that are going to make a sharp point, otherwise you'll have like a ridge head. And if you're curious, I've already decided this video is going to be really, really long, but an important process you all need to see. So I'm just going to edit it, and I'm just going to cut it up. And if that really bothers you, I'm really, really sorry, but I really think you all seeing these techniques and seeing that, you know, modeling, although it can be quick, is a slow process. And if you're taking the exact same amount of time as me, or you're going faster, you know, I just wanted to give you a heads up, because sometimes doing this takes a while. But once you have this base model, like, here we go, you know, we have a head right now that works in a low poly game. And how many tries is it? It's 100. We can detail this a lot more now. This is something we could work with. We can add detail to. I can add glasses to. I can add more detail around the eyes. Maybe even give myself a tiny lip, maybe over here. Add ears, and add the hair, which is probably going to be another 100 tries. And it'll probably bring us up to around 200 to 300. And when we're looking at a 700 try character, our head's going to be about half the poly count. But if we want additional accessories for my character, and I don't know, you guys can suggest them if you want, but I was thinking about maybe just giving myself like a really badass sword or something like that. And when we're animating, I'll show you how to do battle animations for cycles like that. So if you'd like to see another weapon attack animation, just tell me what weapon you'd like to see, and if I get around to it and I have enough time, I'll totally, animate it and videotape it and show you just how to do it. Did I just say videotape? Oh, Christ. I feel bad because I really, I'm not that old. I'm like 26. But that's just a generation gap that some people nowadays are never going to realize again. Yeah. Oh, now I surprised you. You guys are going to be like, oh, I used to use Betamax, and back in my day we had records. But, don't worry too much. We all get older at the same speed. Just, I'm slowly starting to realize it. Let's see. It's a good basic starting point we'll go for. As you can see, let's look at this silhouette. Low poly head. And, oh, I'll show you the joy of it. So if we, oh man, I have some, I'm gonna take a wild guess. I have some verts that aren't actually welded. Yeah, look at that. From 84, oh whoops. And did something. From 84 to 74. It's like 5 points that were probably not welded correctly. So there we go. So what's this gonna look like if it were smoothed? What? We still got a weird area around there. Let's see what that is. Checking out your smoothing is a great way to see if there's areas you haven't welded yet, because you'll get these weird locations. By the way, the cheek is an excellent place to hide a star. A star is when you have like a bunch of polygons, specifically 5, coming into one point. It actually looks really bad when you're smoothing, and you'll sometimes get pinching. So you generally want to hide in an area that would be naturally pinched. Two? Why is there 2 there? I'm grabbing... Oh, that one. Let me delete that real quick. Maybe it's because of the face normals. Let's soften. By the way, since we're doing a low poly model, you will not need to worry about normals. I know how I was telling you earlier on that the back of a face is always transparent, and it is. Let me just turn on back face culling. Oh, that's the